Hello, this is Aluna ASMR, and today I'm going to be testing you on your Pokemon knowledge. Now, the way that this is going to go is that I am going to be using the cards to essentially give you hints on what Pokemon it is that you're guessing. Now, there's going to be a couple of different kinds of hints. I may say what moves it knows on its card. I may say what kind of Pokemon it is. And I may say what generation it's coming from. So that way, whether you are someone who strictly collects the cards, or if you're just someone who plays the games or both, there will be at least a good amount of hints so that you can at least get a good idea on what kind of Pokemon it is or what Pokemon it is that you're guessing based on the hints I give. So everyone has some sort of chance on each of these, but that is how this is going to work. So are you ready? Alrighty, we're gonna go and do our first Pokemon. Here's the card. Your first hint about this Pokemon, about who it is that on this card, they know Vine Whip and Smash Kick. That's your first hint. Your second hint is that this is the Mount Pokemon. Your third hint is that this Pokemon has a grass typing. And your fourth hint is that this is the first stage of an evolutionary line. Do you have someone in mind? I hope so, because I'm revealing who that Pokemon is in 3, 2, 1. That Pokemon was Skiddo. Okay, next one. Here's the card. Your first hint is that this Pokemon is from Gen 4. Your second hint is that this Pokemon knows Tail Spin Away and Power Blast. Your next hint is that this is the Predator Pokemon. And your last hint is that this Pokemon has a normal typing. Not to say that it's just a normal type, but that it has a normal typing. You ready to guess who that Pokemon is? I'm going to reveal it in 3, 2, 1. Staraptor. Probably should have said what stage, but if you got any of the stages for this Pokemon, I'll count it. Because you could have said like Starly, and maybe we could count that too. Alrighty. Next Pokemon. Here it is. Your first hint is that this Pokemon is from Gen 8. Gen 8. Your next hint is that this Pokemon knows antique collecting and poor tea. I might have just given it away. Your last hint, I'm not giving you a fourth hint for this one. Your last hint is that this is the... How should I say this? This is not the first stage. It's not the first stage, in case you had that in mind. I'm going to reveal what Pokemon it is in 3, 2, 1. Polteageist. Next Pokemon. Your first hint is that this Pokemon is from Gen 5. Gen 5. This might give it away, but your second hint is that this is the only Pokemon from Gen 5 that can Mega Evolve. Your third hint is that this Pokemon is the, that's such tiny text, the hearing Pokemon. Okay, I see why they call it the hearing Pokemon, it makes sense. I'm not actually familiar with the different names that the Pokemon have, but hearing Pokemon, it makes sense for this one. I see what they mean. Your last hint is that this Pokemon knows Find a Friend and Slap. I'm gonna reveal what Pokemon this is in 3, 2, 1. Audino. Apparently, it's the only Gen 5 Pokemon that Mega Evolves. I did not know that. I knew it had a Mega Evolution, but I didn't know it was the only one from Gen 5, so that was surprising to me. Okay, next Pokemon. You ready? Your first hint for this Pokemon is that it is the light Pokemon. I've heard some people say that there should be a light typing. I've also heard other people say that you don't need a light typing because there's the fairy type. I'm on the fence about it. I don't know. I could see them creating a light typing, but I can also see that the fairy typing in concept covers the light type, since it's like the opposite of the dark type, but I see what both parties mean. Your next hint is that this Pokemon knows Blinding Beam and Electro Ball. Your next hint is that this Pokemon was introduced in Gen 2. For the longest time, I actually thought this Pokemon was from Gen 3, but apparently it was from Gen 2. Did not know that. Your last hint is that this Pokemon is the second stage, not the first one, the second stage. I hope you have a guess, because I'm about to reveal it. In 3, 2, 1. This Pokemon is Lanturn. I did think Lanturn was a Gen 3 Pokemon for the longest time, because my first game was Pokemon Ruby, and I first learned about Lanturn as I was swimming through the ocean in Ruby, so yeah. Your next Pokemon, right here. Your first hint is that this is the final stage of a 3-stage evolutionary line. Final stage, third stage. Your second hint is that this Pokemon knows Summoning Gate and Brain Shake. I really wish that some of the moves in the cards were real in the games, because some of these sound really cool. I would love to have a Pokemon that knows Summoning Gate or Brain Shake. Your third hint is that this is the multiplying Pokemon. The multiplying Pokemon. And just in case if you're thinking of it, this is not a mouse. This is not a mouse. But it is the multiplying Pokemon. Should I give one more hint? Your last hint is that this is a psychic type. Alrighty. I'm going to reveal the card in 3, 2, 1. This is Reuniclus. Wish my camera could pick up on the cards a little better so you can actually see the art, because some of these are really cute, but oh well. Maybe one day I'll get a better camera. Your next Pokemon is right here. And your first hint is that this Pokemon is a Gen 3 Pokemon. Your second hint is that this Pokemon, how can I word this? It is the second stage of a split evolutionary line. So we got a split evolutionary line here, and it is the second stage of that. So it's one or the other. Your next hint is that this Pokemon is the Ninja Pokemon. Your last hint is that this Pokemon knows Cast Off Shell and Absorb. Tail is the ability, but you know what I mean. I'm gonna reveal the Pokemon in 3, 2, 1. Ninjask. The Pokemon was Ninjask. If I'm accidentally saying abilities as moves or vice versa, I apologize. I have a lot of the cards, but I don't actually play the game. I haven't really tried before. I'm mostly someone who plays the video games for Pokemon rather than the card game, so my apologies if I say anything wrong here, because I'm more of a Switch 3DS sort of person rather than the cards sort of person. So, apologies. Here's your next Pokemon. It's one of my favorite grass types. Oh, that was the first hint. It's a grass type Pokemon. Not to say that it's just a grass typing. That's not what I mean in this video whenever I say that is a kind of type. I'm just saying it does have that typing. That is a grass typing. It's your first hint. Your second hint is that this Pokemon is the Mushroom Pokemon. I don't know if that narrows it down or not, because there's a lot of Mushroom Pokemon, but this is the Mushroom Pokemon. Your third hint is that this Pokemon comes from Generation 3. Your last hint is that this Pokemon is the second stage. The second stage. You ready? This Pokemon is 3, 2, 1. Breloom. There's Breloom, grass fighting Pokemon. Really cool typing. Next one. Right here. Your first hint is that this Pokemon is from Generation 7. I'm actually not all that familiar with Gen 7 or Gen 6, but nonetheless, this one is Gen 7. Your second hint is that this Pokemon is the Drowsing Pokemon. Drowsing. Drowsing Pokemon. Yeah. Your third hint is that this Pokemon knows Snooze, and its ability is Drowsing. Your last hint is that this Pokemon does not evolve, and it does not come from another stage. It's a standalone. Does not evolve, it does not come from another Pokemon. You ready? I'm gonna reveal the Pokemon in 3, 2, 1. It was Komala. Komala. I one time saw a video of this guy who used a Master Ball on a Komala in Pokemon Go because it had the exact same name as his mom, and I thought that was really sweet. Here's your next Pokemon. Your first hint is that this Pokemon is from Generation 5. Generation 5. Your second hint is that this Pokemon is, another Mushroom Pokemon. This is another Mushroom Pokemon. Your third hint is that this Pokemon's ability is Surprise Spores, and it knows Hypno Hammer. Your last hint is that this Pokemon is the second stage in its evolutionary line. Do you have an answer in mind? I hope so. I'm going to reveal it in 3, 2, 1. This is Amoonguss. 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 However you say it. Pokemon pronunciations can give a little trouble sometimes. Here's the next one. Your first hint for this Pokemon is that it is from Generation 9. Generation 9. So I hope you are familiar with your newer generations. Your second hint is that this Pokemon knows Tail Snap and Speed Attack. Your third hint is that this Pokemon does not evolve, and it does not come from another Pokemon. It is a single stage. Your last hint is that this Pokemon is, I believe it is the modern version of both a past and future Pokemon. I might have just totally given it away with that last hint, but that's okay. You ready? Revealing in 3, 2, 1, Cyclizar. So with that last hint, when I said the modern version of a past and future Pokemon, you may have thought, okay, past, future, Rhydon, Cyclizar. Here's your next Pokemon. Your first hint is that this Pokemon is from Gen 1. Gen 1. That's your first hint. Your second hint is that this Pokemon is the Drill Pokemon. The Drill Pokemon. Gen 1 Drill Pokemon. Your third hint is that this Pokemon knows Destructive Horn. Your last hint is that this Pokemon is it evolves from another Pokemon. So it's not the first stage. Okay, I'm gonna reveal it in 3, 2, 1. This is Rhydon. No, I will not be accepting any funny Rhydon jokes in the comments. This is not the place. I'm half joking. I know the Rhydon jokes. It's okay if you say it. Okay. Your next Pokemon is right here, and your first hint is that this is another Gen 9 Pokemon. There's going to be a couple of those here. Gen 9 Pokemon. Your second hint is that this Pokemon is, oh, that totally gives it away, but it is the Ghost Dog Pokemon. It's from Gen 9, and it is the Ghost Dog Pokemon. Your third hint is that this Pokemon knows Paw Shake Punch and Bite. And your last hint, in case you don't have it already, and or maybe you're not familiar with the Gen 9 games. If you're not, you might not get it, that's okay. This Pokemon knows how to bust it down at a rave as a DJ. I'm going to reveal it in 3, 2, 1. It is none other than Greavard. Love this guy. During Rhyme's gym battle, when the camera zoomed in on him dancing the night away, I fell in love. Okay, here's your next Pokemon. This Pokemon is from Gen 3. I had to check my notes because I always mix up Gen 2 and Gen 3 Pokemon with each other. Anytime I look at a Gen 2 Pokemon, unless it's a starter, I think it's from Gen 3 or Gen 1, and I'm completely wrong. But, ooh, sorry. But this one is from Gen 3. It's your first hint, it's from Gen 3. Your second hint is that this Pokemon is the Stomach Pokemon. The Stomach Pokemon. Your third hint is that this Pokemon knows Drool and Super Poison Breath. Your last hint is that this Pokemon is small and green. Okay, I'm gonna reveal the Pokemon. You ready? In 3, 2, 1. This is Gulpin. Small green little guy. This is Gulpin. Alrighty. Next Pokemon. I can actually tap on the cards without worrying about any minor damage because it has the casing on it. It's still gonna be pretty gentle though. Alrighty, your first hint about this Pokemon is that it is, once again, a Gen 9 Pokemon. I have a lot of Gen 9 cards here. If I do this again, I might censor mostly on Gen 1. Because I know there's a good majority of people who are more familiar with Gen 1 than Gen 9. I want to appeal to everyone. Your second hint is that this Pokemon is the third stage in its evolutionary line. Third stage. Your next hint is that this Pokemon has the ability Energizing Rock Salt, and it knows Land Crush. And your last hint is that this Pokemon has a rock typing. Okay. I'm gonna reveal it in 3, 2, 1. This is Garganacl. Garganacl is actually a pretty big favorite of mine. I've gotta say it's in like top 15, even top 10 for me. I don't know, I just really like rock, titan, giant Pokemon for some reason. So by that same reasoning, Stonejourner also appeals to me. I don't know why. I don't know. When the Scarlet and Violet Pokedex was first revealed, I was watching a YouTube video about it, and it revealed Garganacl. I thought, I have to have that Pokemon. I don't know why. It just appeals to me. Okay. Your next Pokemon right here. Your first hint is that this is a Paradox Pokemon. So we know it's from Gen 9 too, but it is a Paradox Pokemon. Your second hint is that this Pokemon knows Thunderburst Storm and Dragon Headbutt. Your next hint is that this Pokemon, whilst being a Paradox Pokemon, it is from the past, not the future, from the past. Your last hint is that this Pokemon is often compared to a giraffe. Alright, I'm gonna reveal it in 3, 2, 1. This is Raging Bolt. If you still guessed, like, the Paradox form of Raikou, in case you can remember the name Raging Bolts, you get half credit. Here's your next Pokemon. Your first hint is that this Pokemon is a starter Pokemon. Your second hint is that this Pokemon has a grass typing. Not to say it's just a grass type, but it has a grass typing. Your next hint is that this is the Grass Quill Pokemon. And your last hint is that this is the first stage of a 3-stage evolutionary line. But you probably already knew it was from a 3-stage, considering it's starter, but whatever. Okay, I'm gonna reveal it in 3, 2, 1. Rowlet. This is a card that I really like. I really like Rowlet, and the artwork is very cute. Okay. Here's your next Pokemon. Your first hint is that this Pokemon is from Gen 3. Gen 3. Your next hint is that this Pokemon knows Swelling Wish and Slap. Your next hint is that this Pokemon is the Wish Pokemon. And in case you haven't guessed it yet, your last hint is that it's that Pokemon right there. 3, 2, 1. This was Jirachi. I really like this card too. If only my camera would focus, but look it up. It's super cute. Okay, I'm on my last stack here. Here is the next Pokemon card. This isn't the real packing, this is just, it's just a case. Alrighty, your first hint is that this Pokemon is from Gen 3. Gen 3. Your second hint is that this Pokemon knows Breakthrough and Lagoon Flight. Your next hint is that this Pokemon is the blue one. If you know, you know. This is the blue one. Should I reveal it? Your last hint is that this is not Kyogre. I'm gonna reveal it in 3, 2, 1. This Pokemon is Latios. Next Pokemon. First hint. This Pokemon is from Gen 4. Gen 4. Your second hint is that this Pokemon is the middle stage of a 3-stage evolutionary line. The middle stage. Your next hint is that this Pokemon is an electric type, although some people argue that it should be an electric dark type, but it's not. It is an electric type. And your last hint is that this Pokemon knows Thundershock. Okay. I'm gonna reveal it in 3, 2, 1. This was Luxio. Luxio. Okay. Your next Pokemon. Your first hint is that this Pokemon is from Gen 1. Gen 1. Your second hint is that this Pokemon is the Dragon Pokemon. Your third hint is that this Pokemon is the 3rd stage of a 3-stage evolutionary line. And your last hint is that this Pokemon knows Slam. You ready? Okay. I'm gonna reveal it in 3, 2, 1. This was Dragonite. You can see why I put it in such sturdy protection. Okay. Here's your next Pokemon. This is a really cute packing right here. Your first hint is that this Pokemon is also from Gen 1. Your second hint is that this Pokemon is the new species Pokemon. Your next hint is that this Pokemon knows Replace and its ability is versatile. And your last hint is that this Pokemon has a psychic typing. Okay, I'm gonna reveal it in 3, 2, 1. This is Mew. Super pretty card. That was Mew. We're on our last card. Here it is. Your first hint is that this Pokemon is from Gen 5. Gen 5. Your next hint is that this Pokemon is the Iron Will Pokemon. Your next hint is that this Pokemon knows Headbang and Metal Slash. Your last hint is that this Pokemon is primarily blue in coloring. Okay. I'm gonna reveal it. This is our last one. You ready? Revealing in 3, 2, 1. This Pokemon is Cobalion. Alrighty. How did you do? Did you get most of them right? Could you guess it based on what kind of Pokemon it was? Did you need all the hints, or did it depend? Do we think we need more Gen 1? More Gen 2? What do you think? I'd like to do this again, especially if you guys would want to. So if you liked this video, let me know, and I will see what I can do. My posting has slowed down, so I can only really do 1 video a week, but I am still trying to stay consistent with that nonetheless. So let me know if you liked this, or if you wanted a different kind of Pokemon video. I'd also like to do another face molding appointment at some point, but I know my main thing on this channel is Pokemon, so I'll go back and forth from those. But that was our video today, so I hope you didn't work your brain too hard so that you can still sleep. I'm about to go to sleep too, so